Hi y'all, I'm Kristen.
And I'm Tyler.
And you're listening to Hustle and Lace Podcast, where we talk about loving the life you have while creating the life you love.
Oh, that was good, girl.
Ew.
So I know that sounds fancy, but really what that means, we love to talk about, we're going through a real life experience right now.
Real life.
So you're listening to us as we're going through things. We like to dive into different entrepreneurship avenues, different backgrounds you'll never think of. So the people who are in front of the camera, we want the people who's behind it. So
Yes.
who really makes everything move to the next level and take it to the next step. So that's pretty much what that means, you guys.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk about, like you said, collaboration over competition.
Period.
People at the top always collaborate.
That part.
We're gonna talk about being independent, our feelings, how we've grown as people, and
Yes.
we're excited to take y'all along for the ride. So
Yeah.
they can check us out every Thursday
Yes.
at noon. We drop where?
On every streaming platform.
Every streaming platform.
Every.
And if they want to see our beautiful faces,
On YouTube.
we got a YouTube channel. Also follow us on Instagram and TikTok.
Yes.
So
At Hustle and Lace.
yes,
On
at
all
Hustle and Lace.
platforms.
All platforms. So thank y'all for showing up. Like us, subscribe, click the link below or wherever it is.
Comment. We need all the engagement. Tell
Yes.
a friend to tell a friend to tell a
Tell
friend.
a friend to tell a friend.
Comment, like everything. Engage with us, y'all.
Yes, so thank y'all for checking us out.
Yes.
We're back, Ty.
Yeah, girl. It's been a long time.
I feel like it's been a while.
We
since
didn't even know how to
recorded.
set up, y'all. That's how long it's been.
It's been a minute since we were in here, and
Yeah.
I think we're just diving right in. Like
Yeah.
we decided over our break that we kind of wanted to step up things a notch.
Yes.
We wanted to be more intentional with what we talk about.
Right.
Let y'all get to know us a little better, get to know y'all a little better. So
We really want to be as vulnerable as possible, and I think the best thing about us is that not only do we talk about business, but we talk about everything that you could go through mentally,
definitely.
emotionally, physically, all that good stuff while you're trying to start a business and really try to scale and take it to the next level. So I think that's what sets us apart and makes us different. And hopefully you guys, I don't know if I want y'all to relate or not, because we're going through it, but I can say that I feel like it'll definitely be relatable to a lot of people. So
Oh yeah, definitely so. Because a lot of people want to show you once they get there, but a lot of people don't want to show you the behind the scenes. So
Woo!
we're
Speak
excited
it.
to take y'all on the journey right now.
yes. So if y'all don't know, we just wrapped up, like we ended the summer with our Summer Breeze edition of our pop-up.
Yeah.
It went pretty good. I feel like the execution went great.
Yeah, no.
The execution went great, but it's kind of, we had, I want to say 17, 18 vendors. We had more vendors than we had the first
21.
time. We had 21?
Yeah,
Okay,
21.
21.
Damn.
So it was definitely a major improvement from our first one. We had real sponsors this time, which I was
Yeah.
excited about that. We was on the news. Like we really made great strides to pull off our last pop-up, and I know it's just gonna get better and better each and every time. But as we're going through this process, we're kind of realizing ourselves, like we can't, it's kind of one of the things where you gotta think big, like you gotta execute big too. Like you can't be scared to do certain things. Like I don't want the fear of success to hold us back. Like, so that's kind of one of the things that we've been going through lately. Like we're trying not to let our fears get in the way of us being successful. And I can say that I can almost touch it.
Yeah.
We right there to our next goal, like major goal, like nigga, we made it type stuff. So I kind of want, us to kind of dive into the fears of success. And we was watching, Chris has actually sent me this TikTok where this girl was talking about, she was actually what you call it, spoken word type of artist or whatever.
Oh, I sent her so many TikToks, so I was like, which one?
So she was kind of, she went out there, she did it, she was getting a lot of traction, a lot of what do you want to call it?
A lot of opportunities.
There we go, a lot of opportunities from it, and she just cold turkey just stopped it.
Yeah.
And she started with something else, and she kept giving the excuses that this is maybe something that she really doesn't like.
It was getting too. It was like she said it basically like it was getting too big for it. Once it got to a certain level, she would like come back from it. Like,
right. She'll talk her. The excuse that she was giving herself is that she didn't like it. When in actuality, it was just getting to be. It was becoming a thing for her, and it scared her from that success. And I just wanted to ask you: have you had any instances like that recently, to where you kind of felt any hesitations where you kind of felt that you were scared of your potential, pretty much?
For me personally, not necessarily scared of my potential. Sometimes, as we talked before, because I am a dreamer, because I do imagine a lot of things, and that's part of my strong suit, being creative, being able to kind of think outside the box. But because I do that all the time and do it so well, sometimes I don't think of it as big of a deal as it is. So it's not like, oh, it's going to get too big for me. It's like, are you even doing anything to get big? Like, what are you focusing on? Like, what is, like, in my head, I almost want somebody to say, you want to get here. These are the actual directions. And right now, we don't have any direction. Well, since college, I haven't had any direction. It's been like, throwing stuff at the wall, let's see what sticks. And what we're doing, we threw it at the wall. Okay, a couple of things stuck. All right, let's keep, So now we're keeping rolling like that. So I'm not necessarily like fear of like, oh, it getting big and stopping. But what does come to my head...
And I totally disagree with you, but I'll let you finish your point, and then I'll tell you why.
And I totally disagree with you. Like, what?
Go ahead.
Jerry, she's wrong. I don't even know the other point now.
My bad.
Why do you disagree with me?
Because I don't necessarily think that... I think that you think that your ideas are big and they are grand. I don't think that you think that they are so small that it's nothing to you. I don't think that you really feel that.
No, my ideas are big. Like, they're huge. They're expensive ideas. I know with that right there.
But that's not what you just said.
I said, I'm talking about my ability with certain stuff. Because I do certain stuff, and maybe because I do it well or I've always done it, I don't think of it as a big deal. Like maybe somebody who does hair and they're really, really good at it, and this is a really big skill, but they don't see it as that big of a deal because it's them. They do it because it comes easy. Certain things that come easy to me, I don't think that they're a big deal. When I really should. And I mean, even if you're hearing this, like, which is part of the hard part, but also part of what we're trying to do, you can hear in my mouth that I struggle with some stuff with insecurity. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You can hear that I struggle with that, and that's something that I'm working on. That's something that I'm fighting through. That, the more that we do, the more that I push myself, I get better at that. Yeah.
Go ahead, my bad.
But yeah, no, so it is. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I know one thing that we've kind of, one thing that I think that you struggle with, I ain't gonna put that on me. I'm sorry for it. I think that you struggle with patience, and you want something right now, when we necessarily ain't put in the work to I know that we've worked a lot. Yeah. We've worked we've been working, but when it really comes down to us putting ourselves out there and really trying to engage with certain people, we nickname social media struggle media. Like, unfortunately, that's kind of like the way that we kind of have to bend into, and I passionately hate it. I don't know why. I hate it. I don't like stuff that I feel like I'm having to give into anyway. That's just my personality. But I feel like we haven't necessarily even scratched the surface to kind of say that we deserve certain things. Like, I feel like we put the work in. We got to keep going with it. And I definitely thought that, some things that should have came in fruition would have done, at least this past one. But no worries at all. We're gonna keep pushing and keep doing the thing, and making everybody, turn everybody into believers. But I think that's kind of one of the things for you too, is, you know, just with the patient thing. And I think one good thing that's about me, but could also be a bad thing, like my whole life tagline has been, it just slipped my mind. Expect the worst but hope for the best. So sometimes, that's why I be saying I be delusional sometimes. I be like, girl, you better be glad I'm here. Like, but it's kind of one of them things where if I set a goal and I achieve it, I've already have overachieved something I never thought I would be able to do. Like the littlest things, I'm like, okay, I did this, cool. Like, but you on the other hand, you kind of want to take on everything, and that's not. This turned into a therapy session, my bad, y'all. But we going through it in real life.
We're figuring it out, guys.
You kind of take on everything, which is not realistic. And I think when I started my business, I got burned out super quick. Like I was posting 3 times a day to all social media. I mean, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok, everything, all by myself. Doing email lists, curating, doing the product photography, packaging, shipping orders, taking it to the post. I had to get my whole household and my whole family involved. That's how overworked I was. And it's not realistic. You got to hire somebody. Yeah. So it's kind of one of them things where I kind of burned myself out super quick, and then I kind of like wanted to take a break from it. And that's definitely not good, because then once you do get back started, you have to build that traction up again. Yeah. And I took off pretty quickly. It's like it was no traction to be built. I just had to anyway. But with you, it's kind of like the patient thing is kind of getting in the way, and then once it doesn't go exactly how you thought it would, it kind of crushes you. Like, because I've been, you know, you've been totally different the past 2-3 weeks. Yeah. In your spirit and everything. So I know that's something that you probably need to talk about and need to get off your chest. Like, did you figure out exactly what it was, or?
It is, like you said, like the patience with certain stuff. I also know that in a sense, I look at time differently. I don't think I've ever shared it on here. When I was 16 years old, my best friend was killed in a car crash. Mm-hmm. And so at that time, I'd never known anybody. Thank you. At that time, I'd never known anybody my age to die. Yeah. And I was with her all the time. I would have been with her in the car that day, but I happened to go to a camp. I'd never heard of this camp before. I've never been back to it. I never knew anybody who went. But that one time, at being camp, that one time, I go to camp I go to this camp, and you know what I'm saying, like it happened on that last day. So I look at time a lot differently. Like I'm like, okay, and you know, I was talking before, my family, we have a funeral home. Yeah. So like I say, you look at time differently because you know that you're literally here today and you're gone tomorrow. Yeah. Like those things happen so fast, and when when you feel like you've worked X amount of years trying to get something and you still don't have it, any opportunity you have, I'm like, okay, it's like trying to light a fire. It's like something's got to hit, something's got to light, something's got to light. And so when it didn't light, I was frustrated because I'm like, God, I'm putting everything that I know into this. Yeah. I didn't ask for this. Yeah. I asked, let me get a good job. Let me get a cool job. Let me do whatever. I can support my people for there. That wasn't the plan you had for me. All right, so I'm rolling with the plan you got. And it's still not working. It's one of those things like, what do you do when you're doing what God told you to do and it still ain't working? So... And because I'm such a firm believer, because my faith is so strong, it was one of those things, like it did. Like, I'm like, God, I expected more of you. I expected X, Y, and Z. I had my hopes up high, and I felt like I got let down.
I knew you was going to come through for me, Lord.
Like, bro, like, this is it. Like, nah. You know what I'm saying? He's still coming. Yeah. He's still coming. And I did. Like, I felt... Yeah. Some kind of way about it. Right. And, you know, some people are like, well, you're not supposed to question God and whatnot. Like, it's like any other relationship.
It's frustrating. Yeah.
Like you when you have a relationship with somebody, you can ask them questions. So I'm like, God, what am I supposed to learn from this?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not necessarily like mad, but like like you said, it deflated me.
Yeah.
And so, but I also know that I can't stay in that place.
Yeah.
Because if I stay in that place right there, it makes it harder for me to do the other stuff that I need to do. It makes it harder for me to pick back up and do whatever. So I did. Like, I needed some time. I was frustrated. I was just trying to like push through everything and rewrap my mind around it, because I believe that happens sometimes in life. Sometimes, like, all right, you know what, God's like, you did do everything I asked you to do, and it wasn't going to happen this time. So will you do it again, or will you quit? Will you continue, or will you quit? And no, I'm like, God, I already told you yes. I said yes. I'm going to do what you asked me to do. So let's figure out what we do next. You know, because we always talk that it's no accident that we are where we are right now.
Yeah.
It's no accident that all three of us are where we are in our personal lives, in our love lives, in what we want. Like, there's no accident that we're all connected together. And so, yeah, like, you know, so, and I appreciate you, because you had to kind of had to fill in the gap for some stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And I realize everybody doesn't have that. Like, everybody doesn't have somebody where I can say, Ty, I'm sad today.
Yeah.
Or I feel like this today. And even when we're going through our own things, we still make it a point to know I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to listen to what you have going on. Like, I'm okay to kind of help you hold that.
Yeah.
You know? And I realize that a lot of people don't have that. That's why I hold so close to my friends that I do. Like, I ain't gonna sit there and say I got a whole roster, but I got a solid 10 that's like, I need anything, you know.
Yeah.
It's what, you know. Right. So, yeah, so it's one of those things where you kind of, you know, you go through, you got to shake back, but like, whatever happens, like, I'm like, okay, I'm not stopping, because I can't stay here.
Right.
So, you know.
Yeah, it'd be one of those things where it's kind of like, hindsight be 20/20, bro, and you don't understand. Like, when you going through it, it'd be hard to see why God got you going through it. Like, going through certain things, and once you go through it, you could be like, dang, you really did that. Like, I see you, So like I told you before, like, you know, sometimes we have to go through certain things to kind of bring stuff out of us that we would have never pushed ourselves through certain things. Like,
let me ask you this, because like, people will say it in church because it sounds really catchy. But I thought about this the other week. Where you are right now, if we were still freshmen at A&T, and God told you to get to where you are now, you had to go through everything that you went through, would you be like, you know what, get somebody else to do it?
Yeah. I'm sorry, my Lord, but yes.
Get somebody else to do it. And the year of our Lord 2023, get somebody else to do it.
Bruh, like, no, truthfully speaking, it's kind of like one of, I done been through a lot. But me going through all those things, like, I tell anybody, I'm that girl. Like, I really, truly, deep down in me,
that you
feel, and then, like, I really feel like I'm the SHIT. I can't help it. I really cannot help it. But I only think that way because of the things that I've been through and was able to overcome. Like, bruh, you don't throw anything at me, but you can throw anything at me, and I promise you I'll be good.
But don't throw it. What if you do?
Lord, don't. You done tested me enough. I done been through the battlefield, Lord.
Run breaks. No.
But so I live with no regrets. So it's kind of one of those things. Like, I'm thankful to just get through it, and that I had the people that I got through it with. So it's kind of one of them things. Like, what was I gonna say? Dang, I keep losing my track of all these lights.
So when you say you live with no regret, what does that mean, and how do you...
Yes, you got me back on track. So, like, when I was saying, like, hindsight be 20/20, and the things that you go through, it makes you realize once you, because when you're going through it, it's kind of hard to see why you going through it. Like you gonna have those moments where you are questioning God, like, why are you what did I do, Lord? What did I do? What did I do? Who did I do it to?
These weapons is prospering.
So it's kind of one of them things where, when you're going through it, you don't really realize why you're going through it. And then once you out of it, once you done pulled all your resources together and you got through it, then you can look back and be like, I see now. I see now. Because like with our whole situation, I feel like, I'll speak on me first and I'll talk on you. So with my dreams and goals, I have always kind of been shy. Like I've been that person where I'm kind of a little standoffish. So the difference between me and Kristen.
Right.
Okay, so I've been through certain things that kind of had to make me have a hard exterior. Well, long story short, y'all know I have kids, and I have a special needs son that's nonverbal, and I constantly, like when I tell you I had to even fight to get this boy's diagnosis. Mind you, my son is nonverbal, so you would think I could get a diagnosis fairly easily, you know what I'm saying, from a psychologist, a doctor, anybody. Well, had to fight for that. Like literally all the services that he gets, I had to fight for. So I ain't gonna cry, but looking back through that process, I realized, like, you went through that for a reason. Like, he pretty much got it to where you gonna talk, girl. Like you gonna fight for yourself, whether it's for your children, your business, anything. So it's kind of like you don't realize what you're going through and why you're going through it till you're on the back end of it. And now, child, be ready to talk and cry with anybody. Like, and what I was gonna say about you, like Kristen is, I feel like God is putting her through the things that she's going through because He knows that that she's going to talk about His gospel and how, kind of like have your own testimony. Like He's going to make you go through certain things because He knows that you're going to talk about it. Yeah. Like one of Kristen's gifts is her gift of gab, and I feel like we started this podcast for a reason, and it's kind of like, okay, now I'm gonna, cause you have you even really had any struggles with any, like real life struggles?
What does that mean?
Have you had any struggles?
Yes.
You what, Kristen?
Really?
Yes. I'm talking about stuff that you couldn't control, like stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm listening. Like what?
How? Like, first of all, you can't compare that because what's hard for me is not gonna be hard for you.
No, I'm talking about things that everybody would see as a traumatic experience. That's what I'm referring to. I should have said that.
Definitely so.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't know. So that's why I'm asking.
Definitely so.
Because I feel like you're kind of, like you said, things come easy to you. So
certain stuff come. Certain things that I like come easy to me, which in my head, which sometimes why makes them seem like they're not a big deal until I get around somebody who can't do it, or until I get around somebody and I say something and they don't understand it, and I'm like, oh, okay, everybody's brain doesn't think like this, or everybody hasn't had that same experience. So those things come easy for me. But
now that you I know some of your traumatic experience, but when I initially asked that, I'm thinking that not something inside, but I'm thinking of something external that you can't control, like life situations. But I just thought of one, so I'll take that question back.
Plenty times, I'm thankful for everything and for the way, everybody who's loved me, but I grew up in a situation where everybody didn't always communicate the right way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly what I just thought.
Everybody didn't always communicate the right way, and when you're a kid and you know what I'm saying, the people that you love aren't communicating in a positive way, that certain stuff
That's traumatic.
certain stuff like that affects you.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, even certain things to the point to where I don't like arguing. Like, it's first of all, it takes a lot for me to get angry.
Get to that level. Mm-hmm.
And it takes a lot for me to get angry. And then I don't like it when I do, because I'm going to go for the throat.
Yeah.
And if I ever get that, and thank God there's been very few situations, because it's not who I am as a person. And I don't ever I know the power that my words have, and I don't ever want to use them to hurt somebody. Mm-hmm. I don't ever want to do that, because there are things that make me think the way I think because of what somebody said about me. Mm-hmm. Because of certain stuff that I wasn't accepted from. Because, like, Tyler, I've been my size. Okay, not this size, but I've been my size. I've always been larger since kindergarten. Like, I remember, listen, like, it's funny, but it's not funny. Like, you know, everybody's at the lunchroom table and you beatbox. And I remember this dude was like, all right, Kristen, no harm, but all fat people can sing. Why you can't sing? I remember the exact day and the person.
Okay, that's mean.
Who said that? I'm 34, and I still remember.
Touche, I get it. Okay, my bad.
That one.
Gotcha.
Man, there's a lot. And then the crazy thing about certain stuff, I found it on like TikTok. It's like late bloomer TikTok. Mm-hmm. So it's all these like people who are discussing getting started with certain stuff late in life. Like maybe they started dating late in life, they lost their virginity late, or like they weren't asked out when they were younger, and then now they're older, and you know they're dealing with these things because our experiences are a lot of things that shape us.
Oh yeah.
You know, and I don't care you know what you do for your kids right now. Like Emery, you know, she's 5. Mm-hmm. Emery can do your makeup and it might look like a clown, but you gonna hype her up.
Right, that part.
And so she's, you know what I'm saying, as she hones her skill on certain stuff, she's gonna have those positive experiences.
She's protected.
But if you tell her, you know what I'm saying, if you turn that into something negative now, if you tell her what it really is, like, no, Emery, it's not right. You need to do this. No, this is so, you know what I'm saying, like that.
Which I do believe we got to start telling these kids the truth. I think it's a good balance that you can find to really push them, because everything is not. That's why I tell my kids this now. Life ain't. I know I probably sound like my parents. Life is not fair. Everything is not gonna go your way.
No,
that was not right. So I do believe that we can't tell them no. That does not look right. There's
a difference in like constructive criticism versus tearing somebody down.
Oh yeah, I would never tell my child down. Oh okay,
because the world's gonna do that enough for you. But you know, there's a difference between constructive criticism and just no, that's terrible, do it again, or you know.
Okay, the way we say it.
Yeah. There's a difference in in that kind of thing.
However, no.
but no, like our experiences, you know, our confidences and things, they come from our experiences. They come from what we hear. They come from our positive things that we do. And in the same thing, some of our insecurities come from our rejections. They come from things that people say. They come from situations where, you know, you were picked last, or you weren't picked at all, or, you know what I'm saying? You were X, Y, and Z. Like, so everybody's, you know what I'm saying, got a lot of stuff. Like, I will never know at this age. I don't know what it's like to be a mom and have to sacrifice certain stuff. I don't know what it's like to be a mom and have a special needs child. Like, those are a whole other things that I don't have. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Do I know what it's like not to have enough money in my account? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Do I know what it's not like, you know what I'm saying, to not have what I need to get a car repossessed, to do, you know what I'm saying?
That's why I say we ain't got time to be scared, child. And it sucks that where you have to be put in the situations to where you gotta fight yourself out in order to follow your dreams. Like, but sometimes it is everything just happens for a reason.
Because everybody's not gonna do it, and that's what makes, in my heart, I feel like that's what makes the difference in it. You know, when I left Atlanta, I know it was like a full year before I went back. When I left Atlanta, I was so broke and broken. Like, Tyler, I didn't eat noodles for
financially
like a year.
and spiritually. Yeah,
My spirit was crushed. Like, because I just couldn't in the map figure out where I went wrong.
Yeah.
Like, why this didn't work. Like, why 1 + 1, it never equaled 2 out there. But on the backside of it, like you said, everything, hindsight is 20/20.
Right.
I know what I saw. I know what I learned. Being in those spaces out there where I was thrown to the wolves, literally my job where I wanted somebody to almost hold my hand because it was my first big girl job. I didn't need you to do it for me, but teach me something. Nah, everything was on me. Everything was figured out. That's why when, you know, we're working these events together and I'm a certain way, I'm like, because I've never had anybody who was willing to share the responsibility. It's always been Kristen, figure it. Kristen, where does this go? Kristen, what is this? Having to figure that stuff out for myself. And then even after being told, you know, even after doing whatever you know how to do and figure it out, still being told what you did wrong. Never being told instructions
from the get-go.
Yeah, no, but why didn't you do this or why didn't you do this? And there were things that I just didn't know. But coming back, you know, coming back home and with certain stuff now, like, heck yeah, I have the confidence to do it.
That's what I was just about to ask you. Okay.
Because, you know what I'm saying? Because I know I've done harder, but I had to think about it. I had to really, not learn, but almost put certain stuff into perspective. Because sometimes we can belittle the things that we've done. So, like, okay, sitting there like, yes, I know how to do X, Y, and Z, but me thinking, well, it wasn't a paid position. Or I wasn't hired on to do it. Absolutely not. You did what you did. And that's for anybody out there who's struggling to think, you know, can I do this professionally? Maybe I don't have it on my resume. Nah, you did what you did. Whether you did it for volunteer-wise, credit-wise, whether it was a one-off thing, you did it and you got those skills and nobody can take those away from you. So that's what I had to realize here. But at the same time, doing it this time is different because I'm not by myself. And I have somebody who's doing it with me and is bringing something to the table.
Right.
With it. But, you know, like I said, I know, like, I wouldn't have seen half the things I saw if I hadn't been out there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have the courage to do half the things,
right,
you know, that we have to do now.
But that's what I was just going to ask you, like, because, how can I say this? I was going to ask you, going through, it sounds like what you went through, it would have hurt your confidence moving forward, but it sounds like it actually helped it.
It did, but it wasn't until, I'd say, like, maybe like a year afterwards that I even felt comfortable with doing something. Like, when I came back home, I wanted a job where I didn't have to think.
Yeah.
Like, where I wasn't going to be responsible if something wasn't right. Like, no. You want me to, I went to Marshall's. You want me to ring this out? Bet, I got this. We stopped, use the restroom, I got this. I don't have to think about it. Nothing's going to go wrong with it. Like, I'm not responsible. Because, you know, I was, like I said, I was beat down about a lot of it. But then God will let you, God will give you rest, but He won't let you quit.
Yeah.
So Marshall's was rest for me. And it came at the perfect time because when I came back home was the end of 2019 and then, you know, 2020 happened and I'm glad I wasn't locked out there by myself. Anyways.
Right.
But that Marshall's was rest. Because when God gives you an idea, when He puts something inside of you, you know yourself, you can only stay that place for so long. You start getting antsy. I hate this job. I can't go into it. Like, I don't want to do this. Because there's bigger calling you. And I think a lot of people, there's bigger calling them, but they don't do it. They learn to ignore it. And
get comfortable.
Yeah, you get comfortable. And I'm like, bruh.
Content, all the things. I'm starting to get a headache.
Why, your hair's too tight? Oh, Jesus. You did it.
I know. But no, you're so right. You're so right. Like, if it's something that, okay, so this is the thing that this kind of where I'm at in life. Like, I'm kind of in that in between stage to where, you know, your passion don't always pay the bills. Like, it may necessarily come to the point where it's not going to give you that lavish lifestyle that you That's kind of lifestyle I want. It may not necessarily give you the the lifestyle that you necessarily want. So it's kind of like you have to do these jobs or different career paths in order to do your passion on the side, because at first your passion it's just gonna bleed money up until you can really, because you got to think, if you got a product-based business, you got to get the product, you got to do the photography for it, you got to do the social media, you got to do the lifestyle pictures, you got to do the back end stuff. It's just all that is money to operate the business. Then you got to think about the money to even start scaling it. Like for you to start hiring people, you got to have money lined up to take care of their salary for a year. So it's kind of like the money that you think you need, go ahead and triple that, because you really you're gonna need that triple money to really take it to the next level. So it's kind of like, I don't even know. That's because where I'm struggling at. Like the thing that you don't necessarily want to do is paying the bills, and you kind of have to do your passion on the side. But can you really take your passion to the next level with it being on the side?
That's what I was about to say. That's the catch-22.
It's a real catch-22.
It only works to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You can only... It's only going to grow so far when I can't put everything into it.
Exactly.
But it's like, okay, I also can't afford to put quite everything into it right now, so I got to keep doing this.
Right.
So, no, like, that's the thing right there. Like, I'm doing 2 or 3 different things, and, and then our stuff, and then I honestly, like, my own, like, personal event stuff, I haven't even done anything with that.
We got our stuff, our personal stuff, then our job stuff. It's a lot. It's a lot. So it's kind of like, where do we draw the line?
And see, that's why I was like, listen, let me just have a really cool paying job, and then when I get tired of that, I already have the money to do the other stuff, or I'll just like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But that's like, it's not that route. Like we're from where we're from. We grew up where we grew up, so that ironically, so we can be an inspiration to others. And that's what I want to be, because I don't want to have to struggle to find somebody who can mentor me, or who can give me business advice, or who can do X, Y, and Z. I want to be that person for somebody.
Right. That part.
And so being that person, being the first people that we know, or that we're connected to trying to do it, that's what a lot of this stuff just ends up coming with.
We throw assist, baby.
That's just what it's gonna come with. But
I got a topic for our next.
What?
That'll be good. But okay, I got a good topic.
You gonna remember it?
Yes, I'm gonna
write it in your phone. Go ahead, give yourself a note. But so this is the cool thing about this is this episode's not coming out till October, and today is September the 5th. Yeah, because yesterday was B-Day. Somebody, I watched some of the concert because people went live on TikTok.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I was like, that was nice. Made me upset, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, so this doesn't come out until October, and so in the process, we've been setting some other goals for ourselves. So, because we took a social media class the other week, and we actually put in some stuff in practice.
Yes. And
we are facing our fears and getting in front of the camera, right?
That's right.
And not just here with y'all, but on our own social media pages, on our own branding, building that kind of stuff, figuring that out. Is that scary to you?
No, I'm ready.
Yeah?
I'm down to do whatever. These bills gotta be paid.
Oh, these bills. These bills. They be trying to prosper against us.
As long as I look good, I don't care.
But you gotta be on the camera by yourself.
I'm fine with that.
What are you gonna talk about? Whatever.
Whatever's on my heart. Whatever God tell me to talk about.
There we go. Spill it, sister.
Yeah.
Well, I think
we did it.
I think this was a good start to our
I'll let you finish.
To our new format.
Yeah. So basically, what I wanted to ask.
What?
What is this fourth quarter for you? Does it start fourth quarter for you, or what? I actually saw this on Twitter, and where people were debating on when does fourth quarter actually start, and I was like, that's actually a good topic.
Does it not start in September? Wait, no. It was technically started October. I guess what, like, so financial will start in October?
That's what people say. But it's kind of like when you're on the back end, you kind of have to start fourth quarter now, because December is kind of like it's done. It did what it did. It is what it is. Because like now we're recording our podcast. Everything that we're recording now is going to go out in October. So you kind of have to think about. We're thinking about fourth quarter now. I guess that's pretty much what we're saying. And like this stuff for my business, I'm thinking about. I have to be realistic with myself, so I have to think a month in advance to really do all the work that I need to do, because like I said, it is kind of part-time, but I want it to look like it's full-time.
There we go.
So
This kid.
Tell me if y'all like my laugh in y'all ears or not.
What? And if they don't, they're still gonna get it. So.
Oh yeah, I know that. But at least it gets us a little engagement. They're gonna be like,
hate that laugh. Too much. Y'all, she's so laugh like.
If I ain't gonna do nothing else, I'm gonna laugh now.
Yeah. So yeah, no, this definitely starts fourth quarter for me. Like there's, it is like right now, like it's been grind time. Yeah. But like, nah, it's legit like last couple months, gotta knock some stuff out.
Hear what you say, head down work.
Hey, head down and grind.
We gotta get it, y'all.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see me.
You're excited to see you.
To see me.
Okay, girl.
I am. You know, like sometimes
that sound like me.
When you start,
now I feel how y'all feel.
I just love that for me. Nah, like when you start working on yourself and stuff, and you start,
you see that glow up.
Like you start doing stuff, and you're like, wait, when do I do that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? No, I'm gonna stop that. Like, hey, if I do it, that's because who I am. Like, and accepting that. So yeah, no, I'm definitely excited to see me and the confidence that grows. And exudes.
I can't wait to see you too, Chad.
You know what I'm saying? If I pop out, like just.
Pop out with who though?
Just tell me if you're cute. If I pop out, that's just.
Okay.
Silly. If I pop out with you.
Right, we're gonna be right there with each other.
Pop out with you.
Who are we fooling?
Pop out with you and Mix over there. It's us.
Oh man,
girls.
Yeah. Oh brother, there you go. Yeah. So I can't wait. Like we got some good guests lined up. I can't wait for y'all to see. Y'all got the first episode where we boo-hoo crying. I hope my crying face wasn't too ugly and y'all ain't laughing at me, but whatever. Who cares? So just make sure y'all comment,
like,
subscribe. Yes, and tune in because we have some great lively guests lined up for y'all, and I cannot wait for y'all to see them and hear their stories and all the tips and tricks they gonna have for us.
Yes.
That's it for me.
Alright, so I'm Kristen.
And I'm Tyler.
And you've been listening to
Hustle and Lace Podcast. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, with this no nail. Ciao.
Oh, yeah.